Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening. How's it going?
We're live. How's everyone doing out there tonight?
Hopefully, y'all are enjoying this wonderful spring weather. It rolled into Virginia Beach, last week?
Finally,
Yeah.
it arrived late, but it's in full force now.
It was a very welcome, warm weather for us, finally.
Yes.
Anyhow, enough about the weather.
Yeah, my name is John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radlin Mendoza, and we are the law firm Gardner and Mendoza, immigration lawyers. We do this every Wednesday night. We come to you from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock and give you immigration updates, other legal updates, and most importantly, we'd like to answer your questions. So bring your immigration questions and you can get them answered here. I will warn you that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. You have to be one of our clients to get legal advice, but you can bring your questions here and we will give our opinion on them, our answer. Okay. And I also want to say hello to the whole TikTok world over here. You'll see me looking to the side.
TikTok world, what's going on?
That's me monitoring all of our TikTok fans that come in with their questions. And so I'm scrolling through those and trying to make sense of some of the questions because they're little snippets. If you are on TikTok, it's better to come over to the Facebook page for having your question answered because we can post it. It's easier for us to see and it's easier for us to read. All right. But if you're only on TikTok, that's cool too. Get your questions in and we will get to it.
And I am trying to share this live. That's what I'm doing right now while John is saying all these things.
Yeah. Well, while you continue
let me share.
While you continue to do all the sharing, I wanted to mention it's not an update that will, specifically impact a whole lot of people, but it is a case that's really important that came out of the Supreme Court just a day or two ago, and it is Patel versus Garland, and it is a U.S. Supreme Court. It's a 5-4 decision. Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the opinion for the majority. Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote the opinion for the dissent. And I'm not going to bore you with all the details of the facts and everything, but I'm telling you about this story because there's a very important moral to this case that we want to make sure that everybody pays attention to. Mr. Patel and his wife had entered the United States from India without inspection, undocumented, illegal, whatever word. The court uses the word illegal, but whatever. The bottom line is they entered the country and they were undocumented when they came in. And they lived in the United States for they've been here for 30 years. They have 3 children. They live in Georgia. And at some point, Mr. Patel decided to try to adjust his status to become a permanent resident and get a green card. And how he was going about that is not important to the story. But bottom line is, while that matter was pending, he went to the Georgia DMV to renew his driver's license. And on the form, he checked the box. One of the questions is, are you a U.S. citizen? And he checked the box, yes. He didn't have to be a U.S. citizen to get the driver's license. He was eligible for it anyway. He was just renewing his license. And he later said that it was just an inadvertent mistake, that he obviously wasn't trying to claim he was a U.S. citizen. He knew he wasn't, and there was no advantage to his saying so. But later, when he was put in removal proceedings for being in the country undocumented, he tried to cancel his removal, and the immigration court said that he could not because he did not meet the requirements for discretionary relief because he had falsely claimed on a government form to being a U.S. citizen, which he was not. A false claim to citizenship.
Yep. That's guys. That is the death knell for some cases.
It really is. And he had a hearing, and an immigration USCIS immigration ruled that he had done that. He had a hearing with an immigration judge. The immigration judge also denied his petition, saying that, I mean, it's not clear why. I don't know if the judge didn't believe him or what the facts were, but the bottom line is the immigration judge denied the petition. And so he appealed to the Board of Immigration Appeals, who also denied the appeal. He then appealed to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. They said that they didn't have jurisdiction because they could not go back and relitigate facts in a case, that was for the immigration judge to do, and only the immigration judge, and that they had to accept that the factual findings were correct. They could only review the record. So he appealed to the United States Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court sided with the 11th Circuit. They granted cert, they heard the case, and they basically said, you are not entitled to this benefit because you falsely claimed to be a citizen, and we can't go back and relitigate the facts. We can't go back to the fact finding. That was for the immigration judge. Whatever the reason was, the immigration judge, who was the finder of fact, made that determination. And so he is in removal proceedings, despite the fact of having been here for all that time, having U.S. citizen children. And again, the fact that it was a misrepresentation, even if it was intentional, not a material misrepresentation, because he was eligible for the license anyway.
Right.
So, okay, why am I telling you this whole like big horror story? The reason is because you've got to be super, super careful with these forms that you're filling out, any forms that you're filling out,
Absolutely.
whether it's taxes or having things notarized, anything you're signing, be careful, be really, really careful. And because it really could bite you. I'm sure that this was, we've all been to the DMV, you get this clipboard and this, you're just trying to get out of there and you're just like initialing everywhere and Xing stuff. And let's be honest, nobody's really reading any of that stuff super carefully. And, like I said, he claimed there was a mistake, that he was, just a simple mistake. And the dissent, which was written by Neil Gorsuch, basically said that he was deeply troubled by the ruling because it would foreclose anyone from ever having the opportunity to try to correct a record. What if the government made the mistake? And what if you get the form back and they're like, oh, well, this box was checked. And you're like, I didn't check. I'm positive I didn't check that.
And the argument on the other side basically was like, look, we've gone through these different levels of appeal, right? We went to the immigration judge. We then went to the Board of Immigration Appeals. Is that where it went next?
Yep.
And then we went to the Court of Appeals. Yeah. And so Supreme Court's like, no, the facts have already been founded.
Yeah, so, we don't want to bore you to death with legal stuff other than answering your immigration questions. But as a general legal principle in our system is that appellate courts don't review, they don't make new findings of fact. What they're doing is they're reviewing records. There's a factual findings in a trial, for example, and then they just have to review the record to see if there are errors in the law or if the judge made a mistake in admitting some evidence that shouldn't have been admitted, that kind of thing. But like whether a witness was credible or not, or was lying or whatever, that's just something that can't be revisited by an appellate court. And Radlin's right. That's what the majority said is, it was not out of a lack of sympathy. It was just out of a lack of, they just felt that they didn't have the authority to do it. So watch out when you're filling out these forms. Hire a lawyer if you are doing an immigration case. I know that we are immigration lawyers, but gosh, you really need a second, third, and fourth set of eyes looking at these forms, which is what you get when you have our law firm handling it, is you've got a lot of different, very experienced eyes reviewing these things to make sure that you're not inadvertently making a major blunder. This is huge. This poor guy is getting deported back to India.
And it's bad law for immigrants.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Right.
So
it's not the first time that this has happened. It happened to me actually on an I-9 case years ago. The Fourth Circuit had a similar ruling against one of my clients.
It's okay, honey.
I'm still
we still talk about it.
I'm still troubled by it. But
John still can recite the very last line of the decision.
But it was very similar. My client had also checked a box saying he was a citizen. He didn't need to. He had a work permit. He absolutely had no reason that he would have needed to be a citizen to do the work that he was doing. But as Radlin said, it's just an absolute kiss of death. False claim to U.S. citizenship.
False claim to U.S. citizenship is tough, guys. It's something I think that we, it's on our intake. That's how serious it is. When we talk to people, that one of the very first questions is, have you ever falsely claimed to be a U.S. citizen in writing or otherwise? Because it can be really problematic, and you can inadvertently do it. You can purposefully do it. Maybe you, for whatever reason, and it's a real problem for immigration. And so, the great job on capsulizing that. It was a 60-page decision. John read all 60 pages. I did not. I know what I know about the case because I'm going to read it, though. It was on my to-do list today. But more so than the decision, yes, it's a terrible decision for immigrants filing for applications. Yes, that is true. But the warning is, watch out for any type of false claim to U.S. citizenship, because that can really mess your case up, and it can prevent you from doing things.
And don't get lulled into a false sense that, oh, well, this is just some rinky-dink form that I'm turning in to the city treasurer,
firearms
in Virginia Beach or the DMV or whatever. This is serious stuff. So be super careful with when you're filling out any kind of forms, that you're being honest about everything on them.
Yep. And just on that point, we recently had a case where the client came to me 10 years ago, and she was applying for a green card through her spouse. And we weren't her attorneys at the time doing their marriage green card case. They did it. They filed on their own. And at the interview, the immigration officer asked if she had ever, claimed to be a U.S. citizen. And she said yes. When she was younger, she thought she was a citizen, and because she had been here for so long, and she checked yes that she was a citizen on the I-9. Now, back then, on the I-9 form is employee verification form. Back then, the question was citizen or national. And so we were able to get her relief from she was put in removal proceedings, guys. She was put in removal proceedings for checking the box that she was a U.S. citizen on the form I-9. And because it said citizen or national, that was the wiggle room there. And she was granted relief from deportation and her lawful permit. She got her lawful permanent residency. And just recently, she passed her U.S. citizenship test. But when I tell you that this young person was the most stressed out person in the whole entire world, she was a kid. She's a child. I mean, not a kid, but she was a young married woman, and she was only like 20, and she totally freaked out. Right? Like, you've lived here practically your whole life, and you find out when you're a young person that your parents overstayed their tourist visa while you were 2 years old, right? And anyhow, so long story long, it kind of goes back to that point, because we actually she got put into removal proceedings for checking this box on the I-9 when she was a teenager and going to work for a fast food restaurant. So anyhow, just be careful. Please do not make any false claims to U.S. citizenship. Yeah. We spent the first 15 minutes
it's a soapbox, lecturing. But this is a big case, and I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention because it's in the immigration community. It's a big case. It's not necessarily a case that's going to get a whole lot of national news because it's kind of a narrow issue. But for this entire community that joins us here, it's a big warning. Okay.
All right.
So while we were rambling about that, we have a gazillion questions that have loaded up
Not a gazillion.
So,
just a couple.
Let's get to it.
So Faisal, he has the first question. Hello. Your question got cut off. So if you can finish the question, Faisal, please do, since you were the first and we want to get to your question. Good evening, Miss Lovely. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us again. And we were not here last week. What were we doing last week? Oh, our daughter was coming back.
I was in Vermont.
John was driving in Vermont picking up our daughter for her first year of college. So
yes, just finished her first year at UVM. Went up to get her.
For all of those college students who are coming back home,
welcome
back. Congratulations for finishing whatever year. First year. Yep. And we're super happy to have our daughter back. She's at the beach right now with her friends.
She's officially survived a Vermont winter.
Vermont winter, being 11 hours from home.
That's a real thing. Trust us.
Absolutely.
We were there for some of it. And I grew up in Northern Ohio. I thought we had bad winters.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Okay.
All right. Love Margot says, Quadra, she says, what if I change my employer? Does immigration need to know about it? We need to know a little bit more information about that. What type of case do you have? Is it based on employment?
Right.
If it's a green card application based on a family-based case, or we just need to know more. Then anyway, to finish my sentence, if it's a green card case based on marriage to, let's just say, a U.S. citizen or something similar to that, then no, you do not have to notify USCIS about employment change. All right.
Yeah, and so with most of these questions, I mean, Radlin's taking a stab at them with the information given, but of course, if you schedule a consultation with our office, then you're going to have a whole hour. We're going to do a deep dive into all of the facts, look at documents, and really be able to see fully what your options are and what your best step forward will be. All right.
Yeah. So let's see here. Rose, hello. She says she's just passing by. She'll be in the Philippines tomorrow. Safe travels to you. So exciting. Go see my mom. She's at MSM Surplus.
Yeah, go visit my mother-in-law. She's down there in Viluna.
Tell her you saw me on.
She's down in Viluna Extension.
Yeah.
And grab some Jollibee and go visit with her.
If you go, of course, Filipino hospitality, she will have something for you to eat there and drink. All right. Let's see here. Jesse just has a question. He's just like, hey, I wonder why citizenship takes time here in Alaska than Guam. I'm waiting for 6 months now, while my friends in Guam, 1 month wait only. 1 month wait only. That's amazing. Jesse, I wish I knew. I could go into processing times and USCIS processing times, take a look there. I can't do that now, but it just probably has to do with load, workload. But sometimes that is not the case. John and I are always talking about, hey, you got to file your case, because first in, first out. And, that's the case 9 times out of 10, but then you have those oddball cases where that's not the case. So I wish I could tell you definitively why that is the case, but I don't know
It could just be, and it also could just be, different speed set, skill set levels. Why is the Chick-fil-A Hilltop faster than all the other ones? I don't know. It just is. The line moves so fast. It's frightening.
It's pretty amazing. We want the Chick-fil-A at Hilltop, Virginia Beach to run our office.
To run the country.
Run the country. That's right. I think, anyway, all right. Let's move on to the next question since we spent a lot of time.
Yeah, they're super efficient. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's very impressive.
It is. Dude, let's grab a question for TikTok.
Yeah.
What's going on, TikTok fam? How are you? Thanks for joining tonight.
So, Dog Face Soldiers.
John loves reading the username.
Dogface Soldier 05. Kind of a vague question. Any way to petition siblings faster than the wait period from the Philippines? So maybe you could tell people about what's this wait period he's talking about.
This wait period is, like 19, 20
It's
years.
Yeah, it's bad.
So, sibling petitions, there are two parts of that, right? Number one, you file your petition for your sibling. So that's going to take a few years to get approved, that I-130 petition. But then the second part is, what is the visa availability? And the siblings of U.S. citizens are in the fourth preference category. It's the longest category. And so there's nothing to do to speed that up, visa availability. One thing I would do is to, figure out through the assistance of an attorney, an immigration attorney like we are, and of if there are any other ways that your sibling can come. Can he do an E2 visa? Can he make a substantial investment in new business here in the United States and potentially get an E2? Is he a nurse, or is she a nurse? Can she get the proper certifications in order to be petitioned for by the many hospitals in the United States and agencies that are looking for nurses? What is going on with your siblings, spouses, if they're married, that could potentially get them to the United States a little bit sooner, not through the F4 category. There's no way to speed that up. Thanks for the love. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, another reason to talk to a professional, because like Radlin said, that you may think that there's just one track that you have and it's a long one, but there may be other avenues that you're not even aware of that could be a lot faster if you knew that they existed. But for that one, yeah, that's immigration has made a determination a long, long time ago that of all the people in your family, the siblings are the
lowest on the totem pole.
They're the lowest on the totem pole as far as priority to getting them here.
Yep. Okay, let's grab Elsa while you're getting the next question there. Send my I-130 in March for my stepson. I am a U.S. citizen. Do you know how long before USCIS responds? And what do I do after I get an approval on the I-130? So, Edsel, I don't know how long it's going to be until USCIS responds. It will probably be, up to a year. And even more, there are a couple of things that we would need to know. How old is your stepson, right? And what category is he falling under? Maybe he's an immediate relative, meaning that you and your spouse got married prior to his turning 18 and he's still under the age of 21. That would put him in a faster category than, say, if he is an adult and married. So I don't know how long USCIS is going to respond, but I can tell you that you can look on your receipt, see where the case is. Let's say it's at the Texas Service Center. You can go to USCIS processing times and put in the Texas Service Center and look at the I-130 and see, well, first you put the I-130 in and then the Texas Service Center, and then the processing time will pop up for you to see. That's number one. And the second part of this question, which hopefully will be helpful to everyone, is what do I do after I get an approval on the I-130? So also what I don't know about this question is, where is stepson located? Is he abroad? Is he in the United States? So the answer is going to be different depending on where your stepson is. So I'm going to assume that because we're only asking about an I-130, we're doing consular processing, and your son is abroad, your stepson is abroad. So once an I-130 petition is approved, this is for all family members that you file an I-130 for, then the case is going to go to the National Visa Center. The case is going to take a couple of months to get transferred to the National Visa Center. When it's there, you will be notified, and that you have to, then the next step is you have to pay the NVC, National Visa Center fee bills. For the stepson, or for one person, it's going to be $445. And at that point, you will get into the system and you will be able to complete the State Department form DS-260, which you need to do. And then start uploading your documents, your affidavit of support, your income tax return, your W-2, your pay stub, stepson's passport, depending, on how old he is, police background checks for all the countries that he's lived in for more than 6 months, passport photos, if he's married, civil documents, a whole host of documentation that you have to upload to the CX system, that NVC's electronic system. And that is the next step. So hopefully that answers your question. And for those of you who are out there who had the same question, or maybe you're just like, okay, well, what happens after the I-130? So that's what happens. I think that the National Visa Center processing is a real pain, and it's hard to really it's different. We do it all the time. I mean, it's not hard for us, but for people who are doing it for the first time, it's hard to navigate. Let's put it that way. All right. Let's see here.
Which is why you should call us.
You should call us. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. So, our law firm is physically located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We do all virtual initial consultations, whether you live in Virginia Beach, no matter where you live, all of our initial consultations are virtual consultations through Zoom. Or, if you're not comfortable with Zoom, or you're more comfortable using a different platform, then we can use, WhatsApp or Messenger or iPhone. Our preferred is Zoom. And we charge $275 for a virtual video consultation. Now, it doesn't have to be video. It can also be phone. So during that consultation, we'll talk about the question, right? We'll talk about, where is this case? Let's talk about Edsel's question. Let's say she's at the National Visa Center, and the I-130 petition is approved. We'll talk about the timelines. We'll talk about what the next step is and what has to be done at this step, what our fees would be if we were to represent you and assist you with this, and what the time frame is going to be, and how we are going to be there with you throughout that whole time. We're just telling somebody today, I was like, look, your case is probably going to take 3+ years. I'm sorry to say, but it's from beginning to end, that's what it's going to take. And the person that you're working with, that's a long time. That's a long period of time to be working with. So you have to be not careful, but just make sure, right, that you like the attorneys that you're going to be working with for the next 3 to 5 to 7 years, with some of these processing times. So that's just a little bit of information on our consultation. And our business coach, she said, look, you guys have been doing your live stream and you have people coming on. You need to give them something. So we've never given you anything other than answering your questions and just being here, right? So she recommended that we give you guys a reduction in our consultation fee. So we're going to do that. We're going to take $100 off of our consultation fee. So our consultation fee for everyone else who's not watching the live stream, right, and not on TikTok, it's $275. But for you guys, because you're here, and some of you are here every week, and we really appreciate that. Our consultation fee will be $175. So here's the catch, though. You have to call and make that appointment within the next 10 days. These are the rules, right? It's not forever. And we need a code word. What should the code word be? Green. So because of the green jacket and the green card. And when you call the office, just say, I want the green discount. They talked about it on the live stream. They're going to say, hey, well, we're going to tell our people. We just thought of this right before we came on. So if you all want to make an appointment, if you've been waiting to make an appointment and you really just want to get things clarified in your mind about what you have to do with your immigration case, give us a call.
Yeah, and I filled up one of our gas tanks today. And I know that we're all feeling this intense inflation. So we understand also that everything is so expensive right now. So this is just another way of helping out a little bit. We'll cut that down so that you can take that extra $100 and go put it in your gas tank.
There you go. Yes, because that is that is what it's going to cost.
Yeah, right, I know.
$75 or more in the gas tank. All right.
This is pretty cool. I think I saw that somebody, I think Vaughn Works was saying that he's in South Burlington. Oh yeah, up there. I am actually in South Burlington, Vermont. He has a question.
Oh my gosh, what a small world. Our daughter's going to trip out when or not care at all. She's 18.
Vaughn, you know how beautiful Burlington is and how beautiful UVM is. Wow, if y'all have never been to that campus, it's super cool.
Yes, that's why she picked it. She really loves beautiful scenes and her campus is gorgeous. But Vaughn, welcome to Virginia Beach, the live stream here. Okay, let's look at Vaughn's question. See, Vaughn, he says he's from South Burlington, and we're going to answer his question, hopefully. We'll put it up for sure. All right. Have you got any information on how Philippines is doing with K-1 visas, backlogs, timeframes? Vaughn, sadly, we don't know too much with regards to how that is moving, how those cases are moving along. When we meet with people with regard to K-1s, I used to be able to give pre-COVID, just timeframes, and we really could rely on them like clockwork within a month or two. But now it's very different. I just looked up the most recent processing times for the I-129F, and that is 10.5 months right now, taking 10.5 months to process. I went into one of our old documents and I was updating it with the timeframes, and this was from a couple of years ago. And the first line says, the I-129F is taking about 2 to 4 months to process. So that is now up to 10.5 months. And so unfortunately, we're all in the same boat here, Vaughn, and there's not that much information with regard to the backlogs and no updated information. It's just wait and see. So good luck. Hang in there. Hang in there cold. If your fiance, she's from the Philippines and she's going to Burlington, you definitely want to plan some trips to Virginia Beach because she's going to be really cold.
It's warm in Burlington now. The summer arrived. It's beautiful.
Yes,
right now,
yeah.
But yeah, it gets pretty intense.
All right. Let's see. Hi, are they expediting visa in June for extra fee? I haven't heard that, Deidre. I don't know. If that's something you've heard, we're gonna look it up. But I have not heard that. That would be interesting. All right, you want to grab a question?
Yeah, sure. Ninja83 wanted to know, says I received my work authorization, but not my travel code. How much time do you think it'll be to receive it?
Advanced parole. I don't know. Again, it's very hard for us to talk about timeframes. Number one, we don't know where the case is, and can't look it up. But I do, again, just want to mention, you can look up USCIS processing times on USCIS website fairly easily, and we'll give you a ballpark. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Oh, we've got a VIP here. Linda Mendoza joining us from the Philippines.
So who's going to the Philippines? Was it Rose? Rose going to the Philippines. Mom, when Rose from Facebook Live comes to MSM Surplus, please show her our hospitality.
Yes.
Hi, Mama. How are you? I texted my mom last night and I told her, don't forget to watch us on Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that it's not just family members watching us now, right? Remember when we first started and we only had just family? And
just in the event that my mother is watching, and I don't know if she is or not, but early birthday wishes to you, Mama. Her birthday is tomorrow. So, happy birthday. Okay, quick question over here. How long does it take for a person to come back to the U.S. if they got deported to the Philippines?
Loaded question. Cannot even take a stab at that one because there's so much.
There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a
lot we would need to know.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, was it truly a deportation, or was it some sort of a voluntary departure? What was the grounds for the deportation?
Right. Was it drugs? Yeah. Is it drugs, then they're probably not coming back. So not saying that it was drugs.
We would need a lot more
hypotheticals. Yeah.
Need a lot more information on that one. Sorry.
Okay. So hello, Lakeisha. How are you? How are you? Great to see you. What a great picture. Looks like you took another one. That's an inside joke. All right. So Lakeisha says, so Biden announced on Monday that he's lifting some of the restrictions in Cuba. Does this mean the embassy in Havana starts processing more visa? I'm not sure. I didn't see that. So I'm not sure what that would mean.
I saw the ban, some of the restrictions being lifted, especially making travel easier. I did not check on the embassy. Lakeisha, we will look into that. See if we can report. I will report next week. Remind me to do that. Okay.
Okay. Hey, Ria, remind us to do all the things that we're saying.
Yeah.
What was the other thing we're going to do? Oh, we're going to tell our team about the green $175 discount. Right. Okay. So, Lakeisha, she says, yeah, she went for 2 weeks in March. Yay. Fantastic. And she took a photo.
Yeah. There were some travel restrictions were being eased again.
All right. So Diana says, do you guys accept business sponsors? How long does it take to get Filipino workers to get here? We absolutely represent businesses in trying to, and if they want to petition for workers from the Philippines or otherwise to the United States, it's typically going to be in the third employment-based category. How long does it take? It takes a couple of years at least. So
go
ahead.
Well, just that, this particular live stream that we do really attracts, because of the format, it attracts people primarily with family immigration questions. But just to be clear for everybody out there, yes, we absolutely do business immigration. We do a lot of business immigration, all different types of business immigration. So that's another avenue that you may want to look into, or if you know somebody who has questions about that, have them reach out to us, because we absolutely do a lot of that. It's just those types of clients don't tend to gravitate to this format nearly as much.
Yeah, our business clients are not on TikTok or Facebook
or joining the live stream. Yeah, it's just
right.
It's just kind of a different animal, but we love it just as much.
So Lakeisha, when she went to Cuba, she took 200 photos. That's great. All right. Enough with the inside joke. It's not a joke. It's just a story. All right. Let's see here. So I missed Oscar's question. Is there going to be any improvements in the processing times for green cards for marriage filed 485, 765, I-130, I-131 in December 31, biometrics in March, and after that, nothing. December, January, February, March, April, May. We're only 5 months in. Will there be improvements? I mean, even in the best processing times, it was at least 5 to 6 months. So, Oscar, hang in there. You got this. I don't. They have announced that they are going to try to make some improvements on the processing times. And I have to be honest with you guys, when I saw that, I just closed my computer. I just was like, I'm not believing this, nor am I even reading this. But there has been a lot of hubbub about doing something about the backlog and decreasing the wait times for some of these cases. But Oscar, if you filed in December, we are really only 5 months in. And you, depending on where you are, like say if you're in San Francisco, it's 29 months. So it's crazy. But hopefully you're not in San Francisco. Hopefully you're somewhere where it's shorter.
Did you get to Jay's question up there?
Oh, I didn't. Why am I missing these questions? Are we just talking too much or making too many jokes about the photos? Okay. Jay, hello. I love the photo. Love the beach. We love the beach. Okay. Can I petition my wife right away after my oath taking? Yes, you can. I love a question like this. I love that. You absolutely can. Yes.
Yeah, that's a
Go
nice.
for it.
That
Go
is a
for it.
nice photo. I wonder where that is.
Yes, Jay, where's the photo taken? Please let us know since we answered your question.
Yes.
Quick.
I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess Bahal.
Really?
Palawan?
I don't know. Okay. All right, let's see here.
You know what I just did? I just flexed my knowledge of
Yes,
Philippine
you
beaches.
did. You really did. Okay. Okay. Faisal has not. Do you want to grab a question?
Yeah, here's. I know we've talked about this a little bit already, but again, if you could just touch filing for a spouse visa for my wife in the Philippines. How long is processing time?
Sorry, I was reading another question.
Petitioning for wife in the Philippines and
Yeah.
just curious about the timeline.
Timeline. So again, tough to say. It can take 2 to 3 years, really. I mean, unless they do something about that backlog, and do something about the I-130 petition, it can take a couple of years, guys. I mean, at least. In the, let's just say in the fastest case scenario, let's say it goes to Nebraska, it gets the I-130 petition gets approved in Nebraska in 8 months. It gets to NVC somehow in 1 month, so that's 9 months. In NVC, it takes, instead of 4, it takes 3, so we're at 12 months now. And then somehow they get rid of the visa backlog, visa interview backlog, and instead of it taking, sitting there for a year, you're only sitting there for 6 months. Now you see we're already at a year and a half. So just guys, hang in there. Just kind of mentally prepare for a long wait. Mentally prepare for the case sitting at the National Visa Center, even though you've met all of the requirements because of the visa backlog, visa interview backlogs. Did he say Manila?
No.
Okay. All right.
Just say the Philippines.
Let's see here. Justine, can I file a petition right away after getting married in the Philippines? I am a U.S. citizen. Absolutely. You can. You should.
Yep.
We can help. We can help with that. If you'd like consultation, if you all were not here 30 minutes ago,
call us right now. Use the code word green, and it's $175 instead of $275.
That's right. That's right. We are offering for our live stream people, our live stream supporters, our live stream on TikTok, a $100 off of our consultation fee. We've never offered a discount before. That is what that is. It's a discount. And our business coach, we have a business coach to help us with decisions and things in our business coaching. She said, you should do something for your live stream people because you've been at it for a couple of years now. What have you done for them lately? And we said, we just answer questions. That's all we do.
And give immigration updates.
Yeah, and give immigration updates.
Inspirational immigration stories.
That's right. That's right. We're just, and I changed up a jacket for you. I bought a new jacket just so we're out of the drab gray and black. So, mixed up a little bit for you guys. All right. So if you want to take advantage of that, that's going to go from, tonight. If you want to call our office tomorrow, it's going to go for 10 days. So we'll expire on Monday. What day is that? Whatever day it is, Monday. Not this Monday.
The 23rd. Is that the 23rd?
Next, it's going to go until next Monday plus 3 days. It's I can't. We've been answering questions for too long now. 10 days.
Let's just make it easy. Let's just say for the rest of May.
No, that's too long.
That's not.
Okay.
That's not.
Well, if you were here and you watch this, and if you watch replay, then it's for the rest of May. Says my husband.
Memorial Day weekend coming up, and then once into June, we're back to the regular price. Okay.
Code word green.
Yes.
Code word green. Green for green jacket. Green for green card. And yes, Ria is reminding us that please join our Facebook group. Let us know. This is a new group. We're still trying to figure out what we want to say here, which we're not already saying on our regular Facebook page. So Please check us out and join our Facebook group. And you can also put your questions there. Although we can't give legal advice there either. We can't give legal advice anywhere unless you are a client. So these are just this is just immigration information and tips. All right, let's pull it. Vaughn has a question. I'm gonna put it up on the thing. Okay. Here it is. We have a Belgian divorce decree done in French with an English translation. However, we need an apostille done on it because the translation had an error in the date of final divorce. The apostille was done, but should we get a clean translation done without the apostille so the consular officer does not get confused or have problems with the translation? I would definitely get that retranslated. Hopefully that helps. That's what I would want. I would probably say, hey, can you get this redone? Mm-hmm. Because yeah, the cleaner the better, Vaughn.
Agreed.
All right. What do we have in TikTok land?
Okay, so one
mom just making sure we don't have.
Mom became a U.S. citizen when I was 16.
Okay.
Am I automatically a U.S. citizen? So we have a derivative citizenship question here.
So I can't answer that question. We can't answer that question. We'd have to take a look at a couple of things. You know, where are you in the United States as a lawful permanent resident? Okay, she was 16. What is your date of birth? You know, we have to go to a chart, look at the year, and look at the requirements for a child to derive citizenship when the parent naturalizes. So unfortunately, I can't answer that off the top, but if you call our office within the month and make an appointment and say green, then you can have a consultation with us for $175.
Yeah. Okay, and here's a question. We get a lot of the questions that we get are, questions we get every week. We always get questions about K-1 visas and processing times. And
is this gonna be a different question? Yeah, fun question.
This is an interesting one.
Okay, let's go.
It says my dad was in not in the United States, but was in a different country without a visa for 20 years.
Okay.
So he was basically out of status in another country. And he wants to know, will that affect his petitioning for his dad to get here into the U.S.? So he wants to petition his dad to come to the U.S., but his dad has been residing in some other country out of status for 20 years.
Yeah. So I actually had a case like this a long time ago.
Oh, there you go.
20 years ago. I was a brand new lawyer.
I guess I don't know everything about my wife.
22. You know most things because we've had the law firm pretty much the same amount of time that we've been married.
Yeah.
So and it really depends. You know, was a crime committed? Were there any charges? Was he put in any type of deportation proceedings? Where is he now? And he's certainly not going to be able to get the green card. I'm sorry, not the green card, but do consular processing in that country. He'd have to go back to his home country to do that. So those are some of the issues that that we would need to figure out before we can even really get into that question and answer.
Yep.
But from my recollection of 2 decades ago, we got the green card for the client, and it was a marriage case. But again, the specific facts, I just know that they had some immigration issues in another country, and I have done a case like that before.
I do like the TikTok names. It amuses me for whatever reason. Because Jay asked the question, I recognized the question. He must have jumped from TikTok over to.
What is Jay's handle?
It's Jay Got Kicks 1992.
Oh, I like that. 1992, old school.
I like that too. That's a good one.
I was just listening to New Kids on the Block because I don't know, it just happened to be on the radio. Cool It Now. Jay probably knows that. He's 1992. Uh-oh. They said, what happens to your mic? You guys have a bad echo. It comes and goes. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, thanks, lovely.
Don't know. Let's see here. We have 10 minutes, but I'm gonna just check this audio real quick. Let me just change the audio, and go with display audio because we're very far from the mic. We gotta change that.
Yeah.
Can you guys let us know whether you can, if that's better? It could also be Wi-Fi, but let us know how that sounds, guys. If you can hear us, we did not test that before I switched it over. Testing. Okay, it is working. Okay. Cousin Jimmy, what's up? He says,
hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
It's summertime. Time to come visit. Bring the fam.
That's right. Uncle Taco, time for a visit.
Time for a visit. All right. What other questions do we have? It looks like we've answered all the questions over here.
Yeah. Ember Lilybells wants to know, is it worth petitioning a daughter by older parents if they died as the petition died too? So I guess, you got older parents that could file a petition, but they're elderly. And the question is, if these processing times are so long and they die before it gets approved, then what happens?
Right. So if the petition is approved and the parent passes away after the petition is already approved, then there is a potential for humanitarian reinstatement. And this the person asking the question is a realist, and that's good, right? With regard to immigration matters, there is a possibility of humanitarian reinstatement if the parent petitions for the daughter and passes away before that petition is approved. Then unfortunately, no. At this point in time, there's not a way to revive that particular petition, and it does, it will not go forward. So it just depends.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? I don't have any other questions.
No, we got plenty here.
Okay, let's go. Let's roll.
How long can a green card holder stay outside of the United States?
Great question. So as a lawful permanent resident, when you leave the United States, you basically, when you come back, you are being re-inspected, right? You're always getting inspected when you come in. And so if you stay out for more than 6 months, then they can say that you have abandoned your green card, your lawful permanent resident status. So you don't want to stay out for more than 6 months. You certainly do not want to stay out for more than a year. If you stay out, if you happen to be out of the United States and it's already been 6 months or 8 months or approaching a year, please try to come back before the year is up and have a really good excuse as to why you stayed out for more than 6 months. If you're here in the United States and you're planning on staying out for a longer period of time, for more than 6 months, more than a year, then you should most likely apply for something called a re-entry permit. You can apply for a re-entry permit. And so that would allow you to stay out of the United States for more than a year. Now, even though you have the re-entry permit, you are still going to have to show upon inspection that you have not abandoned your lawful permanent resident status. So be careful with that. Be careful with that. A lot of people got stuck outside of the United States during COVID.
Yeah.
And so, we were consulting with people and having to do returning resident visas. So just be careful with that. If you're in a situation where, you haven't left, but you may potentially leave for a longer period of time.
So, my plug here would be, there are plenty of patriotic reasons to become a U.S. citizen. Yeah. Sure. But there are also some practical reasons to become a U.S. citizen that aren't necessarily patriotic. And that would be one example. If you naturalize and become a citizen, you don't have to worry about, checking the wrong box on the DMV form that we were talking about at the very beginning. You can travel in and out and stay out as long as you want. You can become a citizen and leave for years if that's what you want to do. So there are some practical reasons that it's beneficial to naturalize and become a citizen.
And while I don't recommend this, you can commit a crime without fear of getting deported.
Yep.
You can smoke marijuana without having any issues.
Yeah.
So there are many.
Yeah, remember, as long as you're a permanent resident, you still have to be careful. There are still things that could create a very big problem for you. Adlin's right. Some crimes that seem pretty minor, or even just not minor necessarily, but bad things sometimes happen in people's lives, and next thing you know, you could find yourself in a real problem, and you might have been a permanent resident for years and years and years. I've had my green card for 25 years. Just something to think about.
Yep, absolutely. I just sent someone a fee proposal, and I said, you should really think about applying for U.S. citizenship instead of renewing this green card again, because got to renew it every 10 years, and even though every 10 years is a long period of time, every 10 years it's still a pain. But
okay, let's see here. Here's a question. Can I sponsor my sister for a tourist visa? She lives in the Philippines and I live in New York.
Yeah. So there's really no sponsorship per se. Your sister would have to apply for the tourist visa and appear at her interview. We used to be able to provide our clients with letters of invitation where the sister would say, oh, here's a letter for my sister. She lives in New York. Here's our itinerary. This is what we're going to do. Here's my sister's affidavit of support. She's going to support me if I don't bring enough money to go there. Here's my return to, so they don't really look at that anymore. And unfortunately, there's not too much CIS in New York can do in order to, sponsor your sister. You can try and send her with a letter of invitation, and your sister may be able to just, kind of shove it at them during the very short interview, but no guarantees they'll actually even look at that. So it really is just basically your sister going in there, knowing exactly who she's going to be visiting, what she's going to be doing, and what her plans are for coming back, what her ties are to her country, how she can show that in order to increase her chances of getting that tourist visa. All right. Jacqueline has a good question. Jacqueline Atienza. Is it okay if a person wanted to petition the parent, but the parent wanted to go in a different state because of personal reasons and not go to the petitioner's place? Yes, that is perfectly fine.
Yep.
Parent can live wherever they want. They don't have to go and live with you. Cute dog. Very cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. If a petitioner mom wants to petition her daughter that is above 21, is it better to start petitioning her in a green card or in a U.S. citizen already? Or they start in a green card and later on mom will be the U.S. citizen? Does the petition also restart? Okay, that is a chock full of information in that question, probably our last question, but really, really good question. So breaking it down, mom is a green card holder. She wants to petition her daughter who's over 21. She wants to know whether it's better to petition for her as a green card holder, or should she wait until she becomes a U.S. citizen and then petition? Generally speaking, I give the information out that you should just file the petition. And if you become a citizen, then you can, inform USCIS or the National Visa Center that you are now a U.S. citizen and your daughter would be in a different category. One of the other reasons, and again, Lynn, we'd have to take a look at your daughter's situation. I don't know if she has children or not, but look at the whole case, right? But just generally speaking, that is, the information that we give out. The other benefit of doing that is then you can take advantage of the Child Status Protection Act, where if the daughter of a U.S. citizen category becomes slower than the daughter of a lawful permanent resident category, then you can you can switch back. So you wouldn't be able to switch back if you never filed that I-130 petition to begin with as a lawful permanent resident. I hope that makes sense. That's it's kind of a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. We have. I'm going to answer Cousin's question and see if we can here. After becoming a resident, is there a time frame before leaving for a long term?
So I think as I was looking at that question, so if you do become a green card holder, you become a permanent resident, and you don't want to overstay too long, but you want to go for a pretty extended departure, when can you do it after getting your green card?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is that right, Jimmy? I think so.
You can go as soon as you get your green card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next day.
That's right. All right.
And here's a quick one,
Okay.
I think you can probably answer this one. Can I change my last name on my 10-year green card? I got married to a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can change it. You would have to show the name change. So you would have to show your marriage certificate to show the name change.
Yep. Okay.
That's a really good one to end on because it's short and sweet. Guys, don't forget about our offer.
Oh, that's right. Till the end of May, till Memorial Day weekend.
Till the end of May. If you guys, our consultation fee is typically $275. If you contact our office, the code word is green. John thought that up because of the green jacket, maybe because of the green card. And there's our timekeeper. Hi, Ray. Hi, Ray. We're almost done. Then you can get $100 off of our consultation fee. It will be reduced to $175 for you guys only, and until the end of May. So we'll see. We'll see if we hear from some of you who have more questions after we answer the questions.
Yep.
All right.
And this is our youngest. She comes to get us to tell us it's been 1 hour. She's our timekeeper. So, all right, everyone.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining us. We will see you here next Wednesday at 8:00. Bring your questions, and we'll be here. All right.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for joining us. Take
care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Two thumbs up.